Hello, welcome to another episode of Live It Up with the Lady Raiders. I'm your host, Zuri Sanders, and I think you're gonna really like today's episode because I have some pretty amazing guests, don't I?
I think so.
I just knew you were gonna say something, so I threw you the alley-oop and you dunked it.
Always.
You dunked it.
Always.
I like it. So we actually have our sports performance trainer here today with us, Kyle Jean. Talk to us a little bit about sports performance and the things that you do for the student athletes on the Lady Raider program to help impact them, not just on the court, but also off the court.
Yeah, I think that's a really good lead-in because my philosophy in general as a strength coach for this team is not only am I able to really focus on only having these athletes and being able to kind of specialize in women's basketball, but my approach to this and my philosophy is training the athlete as a whole, like a holistic version of what they can be. So essentially not only having the athletic and the performance and speed, strength, power, all those things are necessary to have a good basketball player and a good basketball team, but in the sense of they are a human first, they are a female, they are an athlete, they have families, they have things they want to do with their lives. So essentially there's a lot of roles that I play, and a big part of that, yes, is performance. That's what I'm getting paid to do, but in my mind, something that I need to do to fulfill like my own destiny, my own purpose is helping them be good humans and hopefully kind of being an example for that as well.
Right. I was once told that a job's not really a job if you love what you do, right? Like a paycheck's just a paycheck, that's cool. You're getting compensated for your work, but if you really enjoy the people that you're around and what you're doing, then you're gonna have a great life and you're gonna have a very successful life. And so hearing what Kyle had to say, Riley, you're going to your second year here with the Lady Raiders. What does that mean to you? Hearing from someone who you see every day, you work with every day as a student athlete, how do you feel what you're learning in the weight room is really gonna benefit you on the court?
I think everything Kyle does for the team, we all appreciate very much. Since she's got here, she's just been so supportive, and she does every player differently. Like, she knows every single person and what they need and what they don't need. And so I think she knew for me the certain things that I needed, and ever since I've stepped foot in the weight room with her, I felt so good on the court. And I'm just so thankful for everything she's done for me, and I just know every time I go in the weight room, it's gonna be positive impact on me and my body. And she's always telling me, like, nutrition-wise, what I need to do and what I need to do mentally, because we practice hours a day and we still got weights a few times after practice, but she's never doing it for bad reasons. She's doing it always to just look out for our bodies and help us in any way that she can.
And so I know Drew can definitely attest to this. When you were at Fresno as a GA, you got your master's, but you had a concentration in sports psychology. And so that kind of led into what you wanted to do for this program from a mental aspect to help with sports performance. And there's something called a growth guide that you wanted to implement within this program. Can you kind of just talk a little bit about that and how that has really helped benefit this team?
Absolutely. So the growth guide was kind of, last June we sat down with Coach Gerlich and looked at the plan that we had for our players from a mental health standpoint, mental skills standpoint, a performance standpoint, learning about our program holistically was kind of the plan around our growth guide. It was a year-round plan, so we have 4 phases. The first being the summer, we have the preseason, in-season, and the off-season. So each phase looks at different aspects of the student athlete from a non-basketball sector. And we bring our full-time sports psychology consultant, Tyler Bradstreet, who talks with our athletes probably every other week about different mental skills. We've been bringing in different former Lady Raiders to kind of talk about the legacy of Lady Raider basketball. And I think the growth guide just gives a non-basketball element to our program to allow our players to see different people that could help them along their journey from a sports psychology element, but also mental health, mental skills, things of that nature.
Right. And I think it's going pretty well because, especially in athletics, people don't really talk about those type of things. We kind of just talk about what needs to happen on the court, in the weight room. But also from a sports performance standpoint, we got to also think about their minds and how to get their mind strong enough to be able to perform on the court. So Riley, with the growth guide and the things that you're seeing as a player, how do you feel like this program has really helped this team?
I've really enjoyed the growth guide because a lot of people don't really understand how hard sports can be on someone's mental health. And so when Daru first came out with this growth guide, we all like didn't know what it would be, like how it would help us, but it's just been a tremendous effect on us. And to have the past Lady Raiders being talked about, it's cool to see because they went through what we're going through. And so when they come and talk to us, because Coach always brings them here, they get to tell stories of what they went through. And it almost seems like we can feel like what they felt years ago. And so it's just helpful to hear others go through what we went through. And so I just enjoy seeing others, what they have to say, because I just think it's helpful for our minds. It's kind of like those Wellness Wednesdays are a coolness day for us, and we just be able to feel vulnerable and say what we have to say.
Kyle, I know that you and also our athletic trainer, Brenna, you guys were kind of doing something with our student athletes after basketball practices. Can you kind of walk us through what Wellness Wednesday really was and what you guys do?
Yeah, so we think of our performance team as kind of a three-pronged approach. So it's me, our athletic trainer, Brenna, and then our sports dietitian, Carinza. And together, like we are support staff, but we also form this kind of group of the performance team because we do all the kind of extra behind the scenes stuff that's actually becoming very, very important for our athletes. So essentially, we kind of work together to make a program for every Wednesday. So either Tyler would speak or someone else would come in. And honestly, we would do a little bit of recovery kind of education with that. So how do you correctly foam roll? What is contrast training? How do we do that? How do we time it? And so we would kind of lead that and be, sounding boards to like, what is it that you need? What can we help you with? Let's go through each of these things this day so you can do it on your own, right? So we're empowering them to be able to come in and know what's happening and know what to do by themselves, so they don't always need us because they're gonna have to leave eventually, but.
Well, I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to just spend another episode with us and talk about sports performance as well as sports psychology and how important it is to be able to put yourself first and realize what you need to do to take care of your own needs before you can help an entire team. And thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Live It Up with the Lady Raiders. We love you, we appreciate you, Lady Raider Nation, and I'm your host, Zuri Sanders. As always, Wreck 'em.